Um, Hello again. So I'm here watching Damien Eccles again. That's all I do, I swear. It's like the only thing that I find interesting. Um, so I wanted to talk about what I consider my HGA experience because I don't think I did it. I don't think I did it right. um, Even though I was in like knowledge and conversation, and then I felt like love, like everywhere I went, I felt love that just like filled the whole room, everywhere. But it got to a point, like after, if you watched my last video, it got to a point, right? Like Crowley says, I'll show you in the book just so you know that I'm not making shit up. Hold on. So, gotta go back. Is it? What? Shit. Yeah, it says Crowley even created a devotional ritual for ceremonial magicians he called Liber Astarte, in which an individual devotes this practice to invoking a deity of love and meditating on that deity until they work themselves into a frenzy of longing. Hold on, I gotta put my bookmark back in the book. So I did that, right? That's what I did. And then I had worked myself up into a frenzy of longing. Basically, I was talking in my last video how I was feeling desire, like here, like burning. Like every ounce of my being was just like burning to like physically be with this thing. And this is where I don't think that I actually successfully did the HGA thing. So what had came after that was I was like prepared, you know, to live and exist in this back and forth awareness, in this conversation that I was having. Who are you? You. Who are you? You. Just that flow, and feel that flow and feel that love forever. Like I would have never spoken to another person and I would have been perfectly content with that. But when I started to feel that desire, I wanted to like physically be with this person, this consciousness, this awareness. And it was pretty intense. Like it got to the point to where I was like, okay, like if you can take like your astral body and like project it out into space, and then whatever this thing was, I was like trying to merge my astral body with because I thought it was like a person or something. So I was trying to essentially merge my soul, my astral self, my Atman, the core of everything that I am. I was I was feeling it out here in the ether. I could feel it in the ether, right? So like that's what I think the merging, the union with the HGA is taking your astral self, is feeling your consciousness out here in the ether, in real space. And you feel this HGA merge with your consciousness in real space. I don't know anything, like Damien is super knowledgeable about all this hermetic occult stuff, but I'm not. I just have like an experience of consciousness is all I have. And I know for a fact that what I just said makes all the sense in the world. All this stuff that you're doing, these are all phenomena of consciousness. And like the greatest number one thing that you're doing in high magic ritual work is learning how to experience consciousness, how to feel chi. So it didn't feel like I thought it was going to feel, right? Like I expected it to be like a state of ecstasy, like pure ecstasy. But I don't think I successfully did it because I tried. I tried as hard as I could. Not for very long, for like a night. So I think I spent probably like a couple of hours trying to merge my consciousness, my astral self, with the astral self of this thing that I was in communication with. And it was like, there was a bunch of things going on where it was like, this doesn't seem right, this seems odd, this seems unusual, like this doesn't and I eventually, instead of merging, like fully feeling that merging in the ether, I stopped. I gave up. I quit trying to do that merging. Like, I got pretty fucking close, but I know that it should have felt more miraculous than what I was experiencing. Like, it for sure would have been like experiencing ecstasy within my consciousness outside of my body, is how it should have felt, is what I'm pretty sure of. But anyway, I had quit. I had given up. I stopped trying. There was a lot going on at the time. And then I just felt this like string just like pull through me and like snap. And then I was encased in a bubble of love. So that's as far as I got. Like, I think I got into the knowledge and conversation part, but not the union part as far as I'm concerned. And if I really wanted to, I could probably do it now. Like, I could probably try to do it now. I'm just lazy. Like, I don't have any reason to do this. Anyway, yeah, so all that demiurge, the God of the Old Testament garbage aside, like, if that doesn't set with you, it doesn't set right with me either. Like, I'm an atheist. I don't even believe in reincarnation, and I don't necessarily believe in karma. I believe in conversation. Like, I think conversation moves people around in the world. But anyway, that's it. Yeah, I'm saying I definitely experienced knowledge and conversation, but not the merging, not the union. And I also, this is something I'm reluctant to talk about, just because what I understand crossing the abyss to be is not what any occultist thinks it is. What I understand it to be is something that, like, I could tell you this and it would sound crazy, right? But this is an experience of consciousness. This is it's entirely possible because I did it. And it's fucked. It's not fucked up. It's just crazy. It's literally crazy. And, like, no one I know, no one, like Jason, Louv, maybe, I don't fucking know. This is some shit that, like, master yogis would talk about. Like, I'm talking about people who spend all day sitting on one foot, right? They spend all day sitting on one foot, going into consciousness, into their mind. They're in their mind. What I understand crossing the abyss to be is, when you think about your mind, it's dark space, right? It's here and it's all dark. This is kind of funny because the best advice for exploring what's possible in consciousness exists in, like, surface level information that has filtered out to, like, everybody, like, all of fucking society. Everyone has heard, go into the light, right? Go into the light. And then people are like, time travel is a thing of science fiction. But this is my actual experience. So, sorry, it's just these things, I experienced these things, I couldn't tell you the order. But I don't think it matters. I think you can cross the abyss and then fucking 5 years later you can merge with your HGA. I don't think it's anything that you have to do in a specific order. We're talking about consciousness. Okay? So what I know it to be, what I had done was I had sat down, and mind you, I was mute, and I was also, like, not interacting in my environment. I spent all day sitting on the edge of my couch, staring at the floor. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, you don't fucking might not believe me, but that's what I did for months. So I had nothing better to do but go inside my mind. And one of the things that I did was I was looking in my mind. I was like, what's in here? Like, when you're mute and you're not interacting in your environment, there's nothing else to do but be in here. So I was like, what's in here? It's dark in here. And I was like, there's a light back there. And even right now, I can see a light. There's a light back there, right? A white light. What I was doing was I was ultimately, when I seen the light, I was like, is this where my greatest happiness is? And I was looking for a time into the future where where my life was gonna be set up the way, exactly where I wanted it, the way I wanted it. Where I was with somebody that I loved, and living alone with my daughter, which is fucking hilarious because I am now living alone with my daughter, who is 16. It's taken 14 years to get here. My story is crazy. Like, even learning the name of my husband 14 fucking years before I met him. Like, 10 years before I met him and shit. It's really crazy, and I'm not talking about that. So basically what I had done, spending weeks just sitting on the edge I'm not even joking, like weeks sitting like this, staring at the floor all day, every single day for like weeks, months. Like, I did not get up off that couch until nighttime. And then at night, when I went to bed, I laid like this, like straight, arms straight down to my side on my back, and I was just laid still like that. Like, my story is crazy. So anyway, so I'm sitting on the couch like this, right? Staring at the floor, and I'm like in my mind, and I'm like, it's all dark in here. What's in here? I was like, fuck thought. Like, I'm not interested in anything that I think, anything that I am aware of, nothing in my environment. What's in here? And I seen that light in the back of my mind, right? And it's almost like a pinhole. And I was like, this is where my greatest happiness is. This is, if I go into that light, I was taking the advice, surface level advice. And what I think the afterlife is funny too. It's the astral realm. It's the life that happens behind real life. But anyway, so you go into that light, right? And I went into it, and I was afraid. I was very afraid, because I was like, I might die. But it was like, sink into it like quicksand. Like, you take every ounce of your being to get to that light. And then once you get to it, you just sink into it. And the crazy thing is, you're going to pop awake in the future, like ahead in your own timeline. And you're going, whatever your goal is, like, you could go into that light and you could be like, take me to the most devastating moment of my entire life. And that's where you'll pop awake. And at first you'll be like, this is a dream, but you'll be shedding all that knowledge and be like, this is not a dream. This is real life. This is real life right in front of my face. And you'll see it clear, but it'll be like crystallized, like you're in a dream, because you're in this moment, you're here right now. But in your mind, you're traveling into the future. Like, and you're waking up into the possible future, the possibilities of your future. Which is, if you think about it, it's really simple. Like, you're only going to go ahead into the future, and you're only going to choose to do so many things. So it's the odds of you being able to figure out where you're going to be in the future is simple. It's not hard. But anyway, that's what I know crossing the abyss to be. Like, it's not a download. It's not some spiritual download where you comprehend and have a deeper understanding or a better knowledge base of existence. There are infinite things to understand about existence. And like, crossing the abyss is not that. It's not going to be that. It's going to be going into that light in the back of your mind and connecting with yourself in the future. Okay, sounds possible, right? I'm here now, and as far as I know, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up the next day. I'm gonna wake up the next day for the next 20 years of my life. So you're finding yourself, you're finding yourself 20 years into the future, or 15 years into the future, 5 years into the future, and you're popping awake. You're opening your eyes into that experience. That's what crossing the abyss is. It sounds crazy, it sounds possible, and it is possible, and I guarantee that right now, if you turn your gaze inward, right? That's what they say, turn your gaze inward. If you turn your gaze inward and you look into your mind and you see that darkness, you'll see a bright spot behind you. That's the abyss, and that's crossing the abyss. Anyway, Damien's always talking about how, like, an enlightened master or whatever, their life won't be shit. My emotional life is a wreck. It is a fucking wreck, right? But, like, everything else in my life is just perfect. Like, I have everything I need. And for the past 14 years, I've always had everything I need. And sometimes I have even more than I need at times. So anyway, I actually very recently, just maybe a month ago, because you'll catch up to yourself, right? You'll catch up to yourself, and you'll be actively in this moment living that experience, right? The moment that you crossed over into, you'll catch up to that. And I just recently caught up to that like a month ago. And now I'm just kind of like, what now? Like, what's next? Is there anything else? Like, does this enlightenment abyss crossing stuff come with any benefits? I don't think it does. Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, that's my story. There's a lot of other stuff that I'm not talking about, that I don't want to talk about, just because it's like reflecting on a time in my life when I was experiencing states of terror and just like extreme states of shock. And like after all this nonsense, like I basically woke up out of ignorance. Like I knew that I had experienced something incredible, but I was like, what even is that? Did I even experience that? Like, is that even a thing? Am I fucking crazy? It doesn't matter. And at that moment in my life when I did that, I was like, it doesn't fucking matter, because I'm not there. I'm here right now. And the moment I was living in was an absolute hell. Like, it was crazy. It was terrible. My yama niyama were not in order at all. So I was very unhappy. And I had nothing better to do but traverse what was possible within consciousness, within the mind. So, I don't think I have anything else to say. That has to just be it. Makes a lot fucking more goddamn sense than all that shit you're gonna read in fucking the Golden Dawn, or any bullshit you're gonna fucking hear in any sort of order of high magic. Like, they're gonna be that nobody. Damien doesn't even talk about what crossing the abyss is. I don't even think he's done it. And he probably hasn't. And if he thinks he has, he hasn't. And anyone who comes across this video, you're immediately going to be like, wow, that makes a lot of fucking sense. It be doing making sense. And it seems possible without magic, because it is, because I did it, and I wasn't doing high magic. I didn't have a spiritual practice. I sat the fuck down and went into my mind. Anyway, bye.